Hi, in this part of the Blender beginner course, I'll introduce modifiers that are very important for modeling. So stick around until the end. If you are interested in learning the latest 3D techniques, particularly in Blender, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Before we begin, let me introduce our Asset Store website, where you can explore a variety of free and premium assets. We offer high-quality game-ready assets and also Blender projects, all of which you are free to use in any of your projects. So be sure to check out our store at store.blackcave.com. Modifiers adjust the model's shape and give it a special form. Let's add another model to test modifiers on it along with the cube. A sphere works well. Okay, let's select cube. This is the modifier section, where you can see a list of modifiers by clicking the Add Modifier button. Now let's introduce them. There are many modifiers, but I'll add the necessary ones. For example, many work with the Generate menu, but I'll skip the Normals menu. The first modifier in the Generate menu is called Array. Array duplicates the object as many times as you want along a specific axis. The count field lets you set how many duplicates you want. With the factor, you can choose which axis to use for duplication. For example, setting x to 2 will create an empty space. Let's try setting a number for the other axis. Now let's create a stair. I need to scale the cube along the y-axis. That's good. Let's skip the other attributes, except merge. Merge will combine duplicates if they are close to each other. Now I need to activate the merge option. You'll see the duplicates are combined. This happens when the objects are close, and you may need to increase the merge distance. Let's add this modifier to the sphere too. Next, the modifier is Bevel. Bevel is similar to what we used in the previous part in the modeling section. But if you're unable to modify the model in the modeling section, you can add this modifier instead. As you can see, the settings like the shape of the bevel are similar to those in the modeling section. The next modifier is Boolean, which requires another model to work with. This modifier has 3 modes, all of which require another object to add or subtract from the current one. Let's move the sphere closer to the cube. This collision area is very effective for Boolean. With difference mode selected, let's pick a sphere using the dropper icon. As you can see, the collision area is removed. I can hide the sphere to see the result more clearly. This change is temporary, and I'll explain how to make the shape permanent later. If I move the cube, its shape will change based on the sphere's position, even if the sphere is hidden. The next mode is Union, which merges two objects into one. As you can see, both objects are merged together, but we can still move each one individually. The last mode is Intersection, which gives us the overlapping section of both objects. Exactly this area. Boolean is a very useful modifier in certain situations. The next is Bevel, which constructs the model part by part until the original model is complete. We need to reduce the first field. Leave the second field as it is. The reversed option will reverse the Bevel process, so increasing the value will construct the model. Randomize will construct the faces randomly. Let's do this for the sphere as well. The polygon sequence is different in this shape, so it will be built differently. Okay, let's remove the modifiers. The next modifier is Decimate. First, let's activate the Wireframe mode to see the edges. Decimate reduces the number of edges. A high polygon count is heavy to process, and this technique helps lower it if other methods can't. Reducing the ratio decreases the number of faces. But the shape of the faces changes. These triangle shapes faces are called triangulated faces, while faces with 4 vertices are called quadrilateral faces. In many cases, it's recommended to use only one of these topologies in a model, but sometimes mixing them is fine. The other mode reduces faces using a different method. Just increase the iterations, and the face count will decrease. The face count is displayed at the bottom. The last mode isn't very effective, so I'll skip it. Let's apply the modifier to the sphere too. Now this model is more optimized, but it's not smooth anymore. I'll skip some modifiers. The next one is the Multiresolution modifier. It will add subdivisions or edges dynamically. By pressing the subdivide button, the subdivision level increases, and as you can see, the model is no smoother. A high number of levels will use more RAM and make the process heavier, so be careful. You can easily switch to any level. The first level field is for the editor, and the render field is for the render mode. This means the final render will have level 5. This modifier has many properties which is great for tasks like sculpting that I'll explain later. While other modifiers can add subdivisions, this one offers more detailed control. The next modifier is Subdivision Surface, which is similar to the previous one. This modifier has just two fields. The first one is for the editor and the second is for render mode. This modifier has two modes, cat mole and simple. Simple keeps the edges and doesn't smooth them. For example, let's add a plain object and apply this to it. As you can see, the borders are affected, but when I use simple mode, all the faces except the border faces will be increased. It's very useful when you want to increase the polygons while keeping the borders intact on any object. The next modifier is Triangulate. It will make the polygonal faces triangular. This makes the model heavier but more flexible to edit and modify. As you can see, it will cut the polygons. The next is Wireframe, which creates an object based on its faces. This is a real object, not just a preview. We can also increase the thickness by adjusting the thickness field. This is a useful modifier for certain scenarios. Alright, now let's introduce the next menu, deform. Simple deform can add a twisted shape to the model. We can change the axis of the effect. Let's apply this modifier to the sphere too. The next is wave, which simulates a wave shape on the model. We can change the shape using the fall off and hide options. And we can adjust the power of the wave using the narrowing field. I won't explain all the details, but the fun part is here. We need to expand the timeline. If we play the animation using the play button or the spacebar, we can see the wave simulation. That's so good. Let's apply it to the sphere too. The other menu is related to the physics. For example, cloth simulation, water and ocean simulation. I explained cloth simulation in detail in the tutorial here. I also explained water simulation in the tutorial here. These tutorials have more details that I can't cover in this video. I've tried to introduce the most essential modifiers that can help you create better models. In the next part, I'll introduce materials and how to add colors to your scene. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And feel free to share your questions and ideas in the comments.